Maybe talk a little bit about your experience building culture at Total Attorneys and other places that you've led, and then how you're going to bring that into your new startup at Bridge Legal.
Yeah, I mean, culture is a squishy thing. It's really hard to kind of get your hands around what exactly it is. So I think it's important to start with one, you've got to identify that culture is important. And if you do, then you can make it a priority. If you don't, then the rest of what I'm going to say probably doesn't matter. If you do think it's important, then you have to be thoughtful about it. And culture really starts at the top. I like to say tone at the top. If you want a culture of fear, then yell at people, and that will trail down. All the people that report to you will yell at people, and this will be just kind of, what it is. If you want a culture of transparency and collaboration and servant leadership, well, tone at the top. Exude those qualities, and your team will pick up on that. My view has always been, the most important thing is the customer. That is the most important thing. None of us are here without the customer. But the only way you have customers, you keep customers and you make them happy, is having employees that think they're working in the greatest job they've ever had. And so I spend a lot of time on just, are people excited to come to work every day? I used to use the smile factor when we were actually in an office. I just walk around and, yeah, I'm the CEO. People probably smile at me a little more than they would otherwise. But are people generally kind of happy engaging with each other? If the answer to that is yes, then things are good. Like, people are happy, people are engaged, people are, feeling rewarded. If people are walking into the door of your company every day and they're kind of hum ho and they're just got to punch a clock, whatever, you're not going to get nearly as much out of the productivity, out of the innovation, out of the customer service, out of sales, all those things. People need to be excited to work around their colleagues, and they need to be excited to work on challenging things that they've never done before. If you're able to provide them that environment, well, then you're likely going to have success. The key is hiring people that fit into the culture you want to have. So, if you hire someone and they're not a fit for the culture you want to build, you're not going to turn them into that. It's just not going to happen. So you need to be really thoughtful. And I spend a large portion of my time, as you well know, Tim, as you're helpful in our recruiting process, I spend a lot of time in recruiting. I spend a lot of time interviewing people. I spend a lot of time going through things. And I'm not spending as much time on skill set as I am, how is this going to fit into the team? What dynamic are they going to play in this culture we're building together? Do they have completely different points of view that they can add to make the dialogue and the debate more interesting? Do they come from a different background that's going to provide a deeper richness to, how we come up with new things? And that is, that's a lot of what I spend my time on, is, really making sure the people we're bringing in are the right people for the culture we're building. And if they're not, you generally find out pretty quickly. It generally doesn't take too long. And you can't be afraid to let people go when they're not a fit for that culture and when they're not able to do their role. So for me, everyone's got to decide what culture they want. I want a culture where people feel comfortable wearing flip-flops, but they sure as shit know how to sprint in them. I want a culture where people want to work around absolute A players and expect the best out of people, and are hoping that you'll fire the C players because there's no room for them on the team. And that your A players feel completely rewarded, supported, given every opportunity to succeed, and generally like coming to work every day.